Welcome once again, team, and it's time to do some layer mapping. So you've been given some tasks to do on this project. The next thing that so you've completed them. The next thing that you have to do is work on the layer mapping. So what does that mean? Okay, so let me kind of explain a little bit to give the context, and then I'll show you how it's done. Okay. So allow me to pull this document up. This is from our client. Okay, so the client says, hey, we need to ensure that, down here in red, we need to ensure that all of the layers, and here it says architectural layers, but it's all of them, clean up base building layers to conform to customer standards. Zip files should be included. So what that means is they've given us, the ultimate client, NetApp, they've given us a file that includes their layer standards. It's based off of the AIA layer standards, but there's some things that are different here, okay? So I went through and I found all the layers from the drawings that they've supplied. There's over 2,000 layers here. I think the count is 2,089 layers. Now these are the only layers that we can use, evidently, according to this client specification for the drawings that are being done. Now historically, when the architects have made the drawings, some of them came from AutoCAD, yet others came from Revit. And when you convert the Revit files to AutoCAD, there's a layer fidelity option that will allow you to say, okay, this particular category goes to this layer, and it does all that layer stuff. However, none of these guys, none of these architects have created the drawings with the appropriate NetApp layer standards. There's a few occasional drawings that have already been taken care of, and I'm going to show you an example. So if your next task is to do the layer mapping, let me show you how that's done, okay? So these are the layers that have come through in the drawing, okay? And I've taken the time to set up in Excel a couple of things that are going to be very helpful to do this work. So right here, I'm looking at the old versus new mapping for the Aberdeen project. I want to show you one. I'm right-clicking over here, and I want to show you one that I'm working on currently for Sunnyvale, California. Now this one has a lot of the stuff already done that I started working on. As you can see, I think I'm down to 105 or something like that. But there's 1,000 layers in here that I have to map. So how do you do this? Over on the left, you're going to see that we've got the AE floor level. That comes from the old layer name from the architects, okay? We have to map it to the, remember I mentioned the NetApp layers, there's like 2,089. So in using this cell here, I've done some data validation. So it looks at that same list, the 2,089 layers, and you can pick from this list. Sometimes these are going to make sense. Here's an example, AE-floor-level. Well, that's actually NetApp standards, so I'll just find that one here in the same list here. So I'll just go find floor, and I passed it. Level. Okay. Then you move on to the next one, and this one is AE-fern from the old layer name, and the NetApp standard layer name is AE-fern. So you have to do this for every single one. Okay. Let's find one that's a little more, a little different. And if you're seeing these done, I'm going to explain that here in just a minute. So this guy right here, let's just look at A-floor-riser. So what is that? So if I go look in the list, let's see if I can find it. I don't know. It looks like maybe that's it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So notice they're not equal. Sometimes it just has A dash something. Sometimes it has AE. The NetApp standard is AE. Let's go look at one that just doesn't make much sense at all. Let's go further down the list. Okay. So here what you're looking at, whenever you see $0, $0, that means that it's a nested XREF that was inserted or somehow bound into the current drawing. Okay, so here I can see I got this one called B. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but at the end, after that last $, it's 0-N furniture-fern, okay? I have no idea what that is. I assume it's a furniture layer, but I don't know. So what I have to do is I have to look at this other column over here. This is a helper column, and it's telling me that it's on this particular drawing. Sunnyvale.
Okay.
Building 4_1, which is floor 1. So in AutoCAD, I'll go look at that file. It's this guy right here.
I see.
And then I will isolate that specific layer. Okay, the one I'm looking for, again, it's the 0 in fern. So let's see if I can find it. Here it is, right here. All right, so let's say I found it. Now what? Well, you can isolate this layer.
Okay, good to know.
Okay? And what it's going to do is it's going to reveal all of the items on that layer. And in this case, it looks like it's blank. Well, it turns out it's not. There's some line work here. So now we have to make executive decisions based off of what is that and how do I map it to the current NetApp layer standard. Okay? So I'll just hit Control Z here to undo, and I'll do it again. Isolate the layer. So I want to make sure that my mouse cursor here is over where that's at. So when I undo it, I can kind of zoom in and see where that's at. Okay, so this little line here, yeah, that's this one right here. B4 floor. Okay, so that's this one. So what is that, right? What is that object? I don't really know. So let me try isolating it again. So I'm trying to determine what is that thing. And sometimes you'll have to kind of undo and redo a few times to kind of figure out what that is. So let's say I make a decision. Let's say I decide, okay, so that one doesn't make sense that it's on a furniture layer, but maybe it does make sense that it's on a floor outline, okay? So what I can do is I can go to my PDF and look for floor outline. Okay, so I'm not seeing a search result, but maybe if I just type floor, it'll help me get there. So if I go to, for example, the second choice here, floor, I'll see that I've got floor outline right here. Okay, so that's the one I want to choose. Let's see, where are you? It's this guy right here. Right, so that's the one I want to choose, AE-floor-outline. I'm taking my time and I'm being deliberate with this to show you guys how that works. So I'll just go and pick from the list.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not obvious. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you'll find things that they don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll find layers that just don't have anything at all in them. Okay. So let's go look at some other examples here. Let's try to go and see about this layer right here. This particular layer. I don't know what this is. Okay, so EBC composite background. $0, 16. That's on Sunnyvale. Building 1, floor 1. Okay. And let's go find that layer. And let's see. Here it is. So I'll isolate that one and I'll zoom to extents. Zoom extents. And it looks like nothing's there. Let me undo and get all my layers back. Okay, let me just zoom first preemptively and let me isolate that layer. So it looks like there's nothing there, and if I make a large window selection, I can confirm that layer doesn't have any objects. I know at this point some of you might be thinking, oh, I want to purge that layer. I would encourage you to hold off for a few different reasons, but if you find this, what happens to this, right? So I think one of my team members was making a note over here saying blank or xref or something like that. So I would encourage you, don't put anything over here, and I'll explain that later. But for this one, if there's nothing in there, just put it on ANO, no plot. Yeah. If the layer doesn't contain anything, then let's just put it on AE-ANO
That's been her
dash no
list
plot.
since she
Okay.
was- since she
All right, so
started.
why can't I put anything over here, Jay? So this is a helper column that is called done. And the reason I set this up was, look, I'm going to be doing hundreds, maybe thousands of layers, and I wanted one conglomerated master list of everything that I've already done, okay? If I've already found that layer, and if I've mapped it, I don't want to waste time mapping it again over and over because it appears on different drawings. So if it says done here, what it's doing is it's telling you somebody already mapped it. Maybe Steven did, maybe Colton, maybe Glenn mapped it. Somebody already mapped it, and it has already been found. So you look in the orange helper table over here, okay? And then you can go find what layer it was found on. I think I'm on the wrong. Yeah, I'm on the wrong one. So if I go down to this column here, so A-wall-full. So if I look for it, so in the matched layer list, it doesn't appear. But if I go look a little further, I can see this one here, the determined layer, okay? So if you don't find it here in the matched layer, you'll find it under the determined layer, and you may even find it under the assigned layer, okay? So these are the three that you're looking for: assigned, matched, and determined, okay? So if it already found one and it's done, it's telling you it's in the orange helper columns over here. All right, so AE-ANO no plot. This one is A-wall-full. So in this case, I'm trying to figure this out. Is this in fact nothing on the drawing? So in this case, I'm looking at A wall full, and if I just go look at AE wall, maybe there will be a full height here. I don't know. Let's check.
I think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, here's AE wall full. Okay.
Ever since she was.
And then here we have AE wall partial height, so I can find it in the helper column right here. Now, when you copy and paste this,
That's really what helps her focus. The thing that distracts her the most is just noises.
oh, bless you, that came out of nowhere.
Trying to just get her back.
In this case, I found this over here. Notice that it's formatted. It has
Home, I don't sequester them.
it has a
Places 'cause I need them to also get used to
it has a formula in here.
noises because
Now, when you paste it here, if you just do a flat paste, it also pastes the formula here, and it breaks the data validation that I'm doing. This is going to cause me headaches later. So if you're going to copy paste, I want you to do it in a very specific way. Okay?
there's something shiny over there. I'm like, okay, take a look back first. So
Let me undo that. So if you're going to copy paste, I don't mind if you do, but do it in a specific way. So copy, and there's some options here. You can use, so I've noticed I've selected the column. The data validation is here. It's this list. If you just paste it, it breaks that data validation. It's going to cause me problems later.
I need to.
But you can do the paste and then do just the value. This keeps the data validation rather than breaking it, okay? So that's one option. The other option is you can copy it
Yes.
and you can preemptively paste it with just the value, okay? You can do it that way. The other thing is you can copy it. Here's the third option. And just straight paste it. Control V on my keyboard. Oh, sorry. Control C, Control V. Now notice that it broke it with the formula there. But if I go down and hit the value after the fact, it changes it so that it appears as if I've pasted it with just the value only. Okay, so that's the process, guys. Let's go look at C-curve-walk. I don't know what layer that is, but I know that it's on this 1-1 in the Sunnyvale project, so I'll just open up that drawing, and I'll go find that C-curve-walk. Okay, so let's... Oh, let me bring back my layers. First of all, I just undid what I had done previously. And here, I'll isolate the layer. I'm looking for something. It appears to be blank. It is blank. So that's A-ANO-no plot. All right. Next one. CO-elec notes. Okay, so that's building 2-5. Okay. CO-elec notes. Isolate. And again, it appears that nothing is there. I just like to verify. Sometimes I find dark colored layers there. So nothing there. So that's A-N-O- plot.
Okay.
So what you'll find, guys, is that you're going to get into a rhythm, and you'll be able to go pretty quick once you enter into that rhythm. All right, so the next one is a layer called dashed. That is so vague. I can't even begin to tell you how frustrating that can be. So what drawing? It's building 3, floor 3. Building 3, floor 3. I'm looking for dashed. There it is. So isolate. Looks like nothing is there. Nothing is there. Let's switch back and no plot. So this is where I would just copy and paste that. So dash 2. That's drawing 3-3 as well. So let's get back into 3-3. Let's undo this one. And let's get back into dash 2.
I think she could be a lot better with her reading, but that's just practice.
Okay, it looks blank to me.
Even ever since she was little, that's always been my the bone that I.
Yep, it's blank. So again, and a no plot. Okay, so that's the process. You literally have to kind of grind it out. If you still don't know what to look for, the option is to go look at the NetApp list, and that'll kind of help guide you. All right, guys. Good luck grinding on the layer mapping.